back to A Little Wilder. Today I hope to show you some of the art I'm going to put into my nature journal for February. The previous video will show a walk I did to Nant Mill, Plas Woodland in Clwyd Pwyth in Wrexham, and also building on that, I'll take inspiration from another walk I did to Marford Quarry, and also the place where I work on a nature reserve on the Welsh Cheshire border. And there's been a bit of a species highlight for me in February, and that was my first ever sighting of an otter. So that's wonderful, and that's definitely going to go into the February nature journal. And also the avocets have arrived back as well. That's the breeding avocets have come back and started building the numbers, and they arrived back on the 12th of February. So yeah, that's all good, and that's going to go into the nature journal. What I'll try and do is I'll pop in a few photos that I've taken on these walks and stuff as well, just to kind of give you a bit of a reference. So the things that I'm trying to do in my nature journal, this is a previous one, and what I'll do is I'll pop it on the screen separately, and I'll flick through some of the previous nature journal pages. So you can see I usually do a little wreath there, and in my previous ones I had a poetry page which I have replaced for 2026, and then I usually have done in the previous what to look for in said month. So this one featured toads and frogs. They are starting to be on the move now, going to their breeding ponds, and I have been doing toad patrol in my local area, helping them cross the road. And you'll see some other highlights there. Things like scarlet elf cup, wonderful to see. And then I've also got a nature highlight page where I've included an oak beauty moth, and lesser celandine, and a short-eared owl. So this is the type of thing I'll be producing this year. For the 2026 journal, I have slightly switched things up. I've changed my layout slightly, and I've kept a few little cohesive things that I want to do, like using certain inks and certain pens and methods like that. Today, I'm going to switch away slightly, and again I'll show this on the screen now. From the January page, you'll see my very typical layout, which might have 4 to 7 different little species on there, and I like to incorporate a little bit of poetry flowing through if I have the space, and a little chunk of information for each species. You'll also see I'm incorporating some Welsh words into there as well to help me learn Welsh. And this February page, I'm actually going to change things up a bit, and I'm going to do a different layout, more like a sweeping border down at the bottom, and what I would call it what to look out for. It's going to be all focused on plants. I've got no birds in there. So I'll also pop up on the screen now. I've actually planned this out in my messy sketchbook, where I kind of do all my, swatching and messy stuff. And I've penciled it out to kind of create a bit of plan to see how much I can squeeze in. It's going to be very limited for space for writing, and I might only get the titles of each species in instead of a full description. But nature journals are a place for experimenting and having fun and making your own rules. So that's definitely what I'm going to do. And on the next page as well, I'm going to do a species highlight focusing on the otter and the avocets as well. So yeah, I'm going to just crack on with it and take you through what I'm going to get up to. I'm going to see if I can actually get this all done in one day. I have very limited time. I work full time, I do toad patrol, I have a veg patch, and I'm going to try and squeeze everything out today if I possibly can. So let's crack on and go for it. So using my little sketch as a kind of a plan, I'm just using some tracing paper to quickly go over that and transfer it onto the sketchbook. I'm not being precious about this at all. I'm being very, very quick because it's just going to be a bit of a plan, and then I'll draw it out nicely back into my sketchbook. So I'm just trying to get the impression of where everything is going to go. Yes, the other thing to remember if you're using tracing paper is if I draw this into my sketchbook, if I transfer it into my sketchbook as is, then it's going to be the other way around. And I quite like the composition that it's in now, so I'm going to have to, once I've drawn this out on the tracing paper, I'll actually do it again on the other side because I want my transfer to come onto my page in this layout. I have my green Alkanet, which I'm drawing in here, on the right hand side of the page, and have the daffodils on the left. Oh. So like I said just a moment ago, I've turned the tracing paper around and I'm just drawing in my design. I missed out those parts on the other side of the tracing paper. This is because I want my design to transfer how I've drawn it. Okay, and then to transfer that, I'm gonna just over the top, and hopefully, if I take that off, it's transferring it through, which is what we want. Put this clip back on. There you go. There you go. I'm going to use that as a basis then to draw my border in with all the different parts. So I'll do that next. Actually just collected some lesser celandine flowers from outside in the garden. They're actually quite closed today because it's quite a cloudy day. So in the sunshine, on a bright, nice sunny day, they'll open out. I believe they've got about 8 petals. And some nice leaves here as well to show you that kind of shape and the pattern on there. So I'm going to draw in my lesser celandine. Celandine? I'm going to draw them down here. Also got some images as well that I can refer to with the flower open. So I'm finished with doing the fine line and drawing all that in. I've made a few mistakes, you know, I've got a little bit of pen coming across the line here, and I made a mistake up here as well, which is a shame, but you know, hey ho, don't really like what this is happening, but I'm sure once I've got the paint on, I'm sure I'll be happy with it. I think what I'll do is like a light green wash, kind of like all around the background, going even over the flowers, and then build that up layer on layer. So I'll give it a go. A bit of experimenting today, which is always fun. Okay, I'm going to start doing some painting with my Winsor Newton palette. I've got this paintbrush Raven 10-0 from Jackson's. I got this for myself for Christmas, and it's been quite a nice one to use. It's quite fat and thick, but then it gets a nice little point at the end. I'm going to do that like a sap green light wash everywhere. Let's give that a go. So I've made a little bit of progress with this page, doing the hazel catkins, got some green alkanet. Not sure if I'm happy with the leaves on this. Got some primrose and some coltsfoot in there. And I think I'm going to do these little Scarlet Elf cups here, and then I'll move on to that part of the page over there. Using my little reference photo, this coltsfoot's got a bit of pink on this closed one, so I'm just going to try and get that colour. Got some pink from earlier on. Use some of this to deepen it. And there's also a little bit of pinkiness in those little like leafy scales. So I'll just kind of put that in as well a bit. That watercolour is, it always dries a little bit lighter than when it goes on wet. Oh, almost done. I'm just gonna do this lesser celandine, and it's one I picked from the garden a bit earlier. It's a little bit sorry for itself, but it's just getting a little bit of the colour matching. A little bit of green in there as well. So, got this nice vibrant yellow to start off with. Go in with that. A little bit of touch of green, sap green in there as well. I'm going to start off with that as my base colour. Too much water. I always find it hard with these finer paintbrushes getting the balance of water and paint. It's got a bit of green on the centre of the flower. Just here. More orangey here as well. And some of the lines got a little bit more sap green in there. Do you know, actually, those petals, I think need a bit more orange in there. That's a better colour. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go in with a bit more of that. More orangey yellow. That's nice. Okay, now it's dry, I'm going to just finish off the Lesson Celandine with a little bit more of an orangey stamen. I think a stamen, I think that's what they're called. I'm really losing the light now, it's been such an overcast day. And I'm coming to the end of this page. I'm quite happy with it. I've just used the Tom's Lumos pen, Tom's Studio pen, to do some numbers on the plants with just like a writing tip. And then to keep in with my theme that I've been doing, I'm going to use my dip calligraphy pen to do some of the writing. Because there's such limited space, I'm just putting in the common name, the Welsh name, and the scientific name. So it's a bit of a different style to what I usually go for. I have decided, instead of getting one of the big ink pots from Tom's Studio, like I did on the last, if you look at my previous videos, because I've decided I'm going to use a different ink for every month, to save costs, I'm getting these little ink sample bottles because I actually don't need too much of it. So we'll see how this does with a dip pen. I think I can just about fit that in, but this might not work. But I'll give it a go. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is my, in theory. Let's see how this goes. Might not work. Might have to put it in a well. Canon Pedra. Scientific name? Narcissus. Oh, let's see. Been getting on okay. However, because the Tom's Studio ink is not waterproof, wherever I put my wash earlier on, my ink has totally bled. And it has been an issue as well with the ink using, even the brush pen up here has bled slightly, and when I've been using the calligraphy pen, it has slightly bled, which is a really big shame. This sketchbook is a hot press 300 GSM. It was quite expensive as well, so I'm sad that it's bled on that paper. I don't know if it's the combination of paper and ink. That's a shame. I wish they did all of these colours in waterproof as well. And I might at some point get the Tom's Studio ink. You can get a waterproof black ink from their website. So I will pick one of those up at some point. But I think you can only get it in black. Trying to read my own handwriting. Oh, I don't know what that word was meant to be. Oops. I feel like I'm really rushing today, because this is my last my last day off and I'm trying to get everything done today. So I have felt really rushed, and that's not really what nature journaling is about. It's about slowing down, taking your time. But I'll figure that out, I'm sure. Filming and doing the art is a bit different. That was the Loch Ness. I do really like the colour of that ink. So I'm gonna let that all dry and then rub out all my pencil markings, and I think I am done for the evening. I had hoped to get another page done, but I'm tired now. I need to do a food shop, so that's not going to happen. But I'm quite happy with that. Oops. I quite like the page's composition. It's nice to try something a little bit different. I cannot turn my pages until this ink has dried, otherwise I will ruin everything. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that. So I'll leave it here. And if you want to join me on the next video, hopefully I'll do the other February page, which will be my nature highlights. So that'll be an otter and some other sets that I'll be doing. Otter slightly giving me anxiety because I don't often get to paint or draw mammals, so that'll be fun. Yeah, lovely. All right then, see you on the next one. Bye bye.